Double Olympic champion Caster Semenya is asking for funding ahead of her legal challenge at the European Court of Human Rights in May. Last year, Semenya won another of her battles where the Switzerland-based court ruled in her favor that she was a victim of discrimination. The court battle started when the IAAF introduced regulations requiring female athletes with high testosterone to take medication. Joining us now is Advocate Nthabiseng Sepanya-Mogale, from the Commission for Gender Equality. Advocate, a very good afternoon and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us. Good afternoon.
Advocate, this is one case that has been going on for a while, and Caster Semenya has been quite passionate about it. What do you make of where we are, especially with the fact that Caster is going back again this year in May to try and continue fighting for not only her rights, but for athletes like her?
I think it is a good thing to do, but also to point out that the European Court of Human Rights has actually found in her favor. It is the country of Switzerland that actually is appealing that decision, and Caster is therefore responding to uphold what the European Court of Human Rights has actually granted to her.
Mm. So with that, what are the grounds that the Switzerland is appealing for? Naturally, because one would say that this was not a case particularly against them.
You see, this is where it is actually frustrating and becoming strange, because it is not a case against them. They are a country standing up against a young girl from South Africa, somewhere in a town from Limpopo, which is ridiculous. It's almost like a giant wanting to make sure that this person does not ever come back into the athletic scene or to actually feel intimidated to even start. Whereas all of this, as far as Caster is concerned, was actually meant to destroy her career. So she's got to stand up to it, But one wonders why an entire country, even the matter is the Switzerland against Nthabiseng Sepanya-Mogale, which in itself is so ridiculous.
Indeed, it does sound ridiculous. But with the court having ruled in her favor, that maybe would bring at least some bit of hope that they will, continue with that ruling. But from your perspective then, as the Commission for Gender Equality, what is your role that you're playing and in, I guess, supporting and galvanizing that support for Mogale?
Because of the limited funding that we are granted, we cannot contribute in that regard. However, we do have the muscle to lobby government and outside of government to say this is a human rights violation. But not only the muscle, we also have a responsibility as the CGE to actually ensure that the rights that are enshrined in our Constitution, particularly the rights in Section 9 and Section 10 of our Constitution, the right not to be discriminated against, and human dignity must be upheld. It is our duty. So what we are doing is doing what our mandate says we should do, what the people of South Africa expect us to do when such things happen.
Caster has come out and said, look, this is a costly exercise. It needs finances and has called out for that particular support. But the one would say, shouldn't we be at a point where we have the Ministry of Women and Children, the Ministry of Sport and Recreation coming on board, government for that matter, coming on board and assisting Caster in this fight against another country, as it were?
Yes, the CGE and Norton Rose, the attorneys, have written to them, although we've written to them at separate levels, but we have written to them because we share that belief that they should be coming on board to be on Caster's side. But secondly, we as the CGE also share the view that it is the government of the Republic of South Africa that is supposed to be protecting every citizen, especially where the rights that are enshrined in the constitution of this country are being violated by someone from outside. In this country, we are saying you deserve, you are entitled to human dignity. You are entitled to be protected from discrimination based on all of those things that they have written there as their grounds for barring Casta. And therefore, it is the duty of the country to come in and say, no, that does not apply in our territory. So we do share those sentiments.
And just finally then, I mean, on that note of government, with the case expected to sit in May, how's that lobbying going? And are you confident that that assistance will come in to make sure that Casta is not on her own as she goes on to take on the country of Switzerland?
I am confident to a large extent. Unfortunately, the meeting that we had was only yesterday, and it has still not been formalized because it was a discussion. But I am confident because everybody is on the same page with Casta. So that much I am confident. It's just that I do not feel comfortable to then speak on their behalf in terms of what is going to happen, how they're going to do it. I think in due course, a press conference will be called by them, led by the Department of Sports, and then we can take it from there.
Advocate, just before I let you go, is there a platform where an ordinary Joe and Tintswalo can assist Casta in this fight, financially and otherwise?
Yes, there is. The Nthabiseng Semenya Foundation has actually got an account, a bank account that has been opened to this effect. They have got an entire system of how monies will be deposited, how monies will be accounted for. That will be managed by Norton Rose Fulbright as well. And they are managing that. But there is, if people can, as much as possible, Google, go to the website and check how they can contribute to that account, and then how their contributions will actually be accounted for through the law firm of Norton Rose Fulbright.
Advocate Nthabiseng Sepanya-Mogale, appreciate your time and your insight. As you just heard, as we were running in our top stories, that Caster Semenya appealing for some funding as